Hello, and welcome to Sky Career Talks, where we display why it's great to learn with us and communicate. I'm your host, David James, and today I'm super excited to be speaking with Kristina Amaral-Salas. Kristina is a Rutgers Sky alumnus with a distinguished career intersecting public relations and data analytics. Kristina started her career on the account side at a PR agency now known as Taylor Strategy. During her time, Kristina found that she had a developing passion for data analytics and working with the strategy teams. This led her to pivoting her career to reach strategy roles and cultivate that passion for data analytics. Kristina has worked at Uniworld Group, MWWPR, Ketchum, and now serves as a director of integrated intelligence at Real Chemistry. We're super excited to gain Kristina's perspective and how to intersect different skill sets, such as data, with communications and PR. We now present to you my interview with Kristina Salas. So thank you for taking the time to be here with us, Kristina. Before we begin, I must ask, how are you today?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So to kick us off, give us a brief overview of your career journey.
Sure. I started my career on the account side. Let me start all over. I started my career on the account side of PR. So that meant I started working at a firm called Taylor, which was is reputable and known as a sports PR agency at the time. Really enjoyed it. And as I started working with different disciplines, noticed that I had a passion for data and analytics and working with the strategy teams. And so shortly after my time there, I started pivoting my career to reach more of those strategy roles and then really found my passion for data and analytics. And so I worked at Uniworld Group, at MWWPR, at Ketchum, and now currently work as the director of integrated intelligence at Real Chemistry.
That's perfect. So what does a normal day look like for you?
Yeah, I think a normal day-to-day for me varies each and every day, and I think that's part of the reason why I love what I do. My role is really to help solve business problems for my clients. I use marketing analytics, I use data and research to help address their problems. So sometimes that's counseling them on, the best research strategy to take to answer a question, or looking at survey data, or conducting focus groups, or mining social conversation, or auditing media to see tonality and sentiment. But it's really all to inform the marketing efforts that the team is deploying for the client.
So I'm curious, in talking about data analytics, can you speak to how important it is for communication and PR practitioners to be
Yeah.
focusing their minds on, trying to utilize data, but also how can they utilize that in a storytelling format?
Yes, I think, when I first started my career, data and analytics wasn't a very popular discipline within the public relations industry. And I caught early on that I thought it would be a rising trend, and I'm so glad to see that I was right, because now you look at these big firms, some of the biggest in the PR industry, and they all have pretty robust analytics. The best and strongest campaigns, the ones that win awards, are anchored in a true and valid research insight. They're based in a valid finding that supports the brand connection and the audience connection. And so I think there's a ton of value to analytics. I see just firsthand sometimes the fruits of our work, not only impacting the client's campaign, but also just impacting their broader goal, whether that's improving sales or driving social impact. It really depends on the matter. I think I missed the second part of your question, though.
No, just in terms of how students can start to think about data analytics in a communication setting, right? Because so thinking about social media, for example, there's so many analytics and research metrics just in that area.
Yes, that's completely true. I think there's always research that can be done, especially as a rising, PR student. So sometimes it's as simple as, learning how to use Google Analytics, or like you said, mining social conversation and looking at trends there. But I think it's never too early to start that, and it's becoming a skill more and more in demand, in my opinion.
So what type of skills are needed, both interpersonal and technical, to be in this field?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the technical skills, I truly think that you can learn on the job, right? As you're applying, and if you're interested in pursuing a career path that's focused on data and analytics within PR and marketing, I'd highly recommend, you know, brushing up on Google Analytics, learning how to pull and mine social conversation. If you're adept enough at wanting to understand Python or R, feel free to learn those skills as well, though they're not always required. But there's a ton of resources such as Brandwatch and NetBase and tools such as this that make uncovering, social conversation easier. Practice maybe doing focus groups or see if you can freelance in terms of developing a survey or working with a company that's deploying one. But I think those are always just great skills to learn and develop. And if you can't get them prior to getting a job, you'll learn them on the job. I think the other piece that's more of a soft skill is truly having a strong sense of curiosity. I think that's something that I always look for when hiring and trying to get people on my team is, are they always curious? Are they always trying to uncover the why? And I think if you have that in you as a skill, it just makes your work and it makes the thoughtfulness that you put into your everyday craft all the more compelling.
Well, I really like that intersection of research, right? Because many people think to have a research-oriented mind is only to be in academia, and that's really not the case when you think about your field and your industry, PR marketing, and I love the integration of data analytics and finding new ways in which you can tell stories and also push big campaigns and win awards, but also the social impact of it all. So we mentioned some certifications such as Google Analytics. Should students be brushing up on those certification courses? And I know you mentioned Python just in terms of if they perhaps want to go into technology and PR.
Yeah, I think it all depends on your area of interest and what is it that you enjoy working on. So I always recommend start with that. Start with what you're interested and passionate about. If you're really interested in social, understanding social analytics, research some tools that you can maybe get access to as a student. I know, again, a couple of resources such as Brandwatch offer discounted services or temporary access for students. If you're interested in being more of a coder or doing more sophisticated predictive analytics or machine learning models, I highly recommend like Python and R, right? That's not for the faint of heart. I'm learning that right now. And it's amazing what you can do with that kind of statistical software. But if you have the interest, like definitely go for it. And if you're more of a primary market research person, kind of explore that avenue as well. But I think always start with what you're interested in, and then it will reveal other parts of research and analytics that you don't know about that you might want to expose yourself to.
So how does one get into this field? How crucial is the idea of networking and having that social media presence, but also LinkedIn presence?
Yeah. And are you referring to the PR industry as a whole or within this certain discipline that I'm in?
Both.
Okay, so I think, having a really strong LinkedIn profile is just, I think, a standard at this point, right? In addition to your resume, because I think one of the first things that people like to do is to research the person that they're talking to or that's going to come work at their company. So as much as you can have robust information about the classes that you took, internships or, part-time jobs that lend to the role that you're applying to, I think that's always beneficial. And in terms of social presence and stuff, I think it really just depends on the industry that you're in. If you're vying for a social digital job, it makes sense for you to have a really strong social digital presence, right? To tout that you have the skills and the passion and the interest in that area. But if you're applying for a different kind of role within PR and marketing that isn't that, I think it just depends on your preferences. But I always think a strong LinkedIn profile helps, a very polished resume, and it's more so about being creative and tapping into your network and connecting with people that way. I think that truly is always the difference maker in getting a position.
Do you think a website or having a portfolio to showcase how work is needed, or perhaps you can just link it on your LinkedIn account?
Yeah, I mean, I I don't think it hurts, right? If you're a person that wants to showcase that portfolio online digitally, that's perfectly fine. I know in the past, and maybe this ages me a bit, but I didn't have a portfolio and I just sent writing samples via email. So either way, those writing samples and exemplary work is going to be requested by the person who's interviewing you for the position. So it's up to you about how you choose to showcase that.
Is there a favorite part of the job or something that drives and motivates you every day?
Yeah, I love solving problems, and I think in my role, I'm constantly challenged with that, right? Helping clients address their business challenge, address the challenges that they're facing from a marketing perspective, even working with my teams and addressing challenges that we face internally within the business. The problem solving is truly something that I really love to do, and working in marketing analytics, it just enables me to do that every single day.
So to end, are there any lasting words of wisdom that you can provide students or perhaps your younger self that you wish you knew at a younger age?
What I would say to students is to constantly be curious, right? I think curiosity goes a very long way. And, go the extra mile. I think that's something that sometimes is missing in today's day and age, but really go above and beyond. It's not enough to just submit your application, but like try to talk to someone, try to have a personal relationship, or even once you start working, don't just, do an assignment and then submit it in, and be curious, follow up, ask how your work could always be better, ask how you could always be better. I just think it always leads to a more well-rounded person, and just a more enjoyable person to partner with as you collaborate and work together.
And it's that relationship, a mentor-mentee type of relationship of how can we learn from each other, right, going forward.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for being able to be in conversation with you today, Kristina. I really enjoyed getting to know your perspective and your unique journey.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for chatting with me. Really lovely meeting you.
And that again was my interview with Amaral-Salas. We look forward to connecting with Kristina very soon. Thank you all for joining us for another edition of Sky Career Talks. And be sure to share, like, comment, and subscribe. Also follow our LinkedIn group page, Sky Career Corners, to connect with our brilliant students and alumni. Until next time, I'm David James. Take care.